guys, welcome to the first video of Learning AP. Today we'll be discussing some of the introductory terms of AP Statistics. And today will be a fairly short video, but if you have any questions or anything that I missed, please leave that down below in the comment section and I will get to that as soon as I can. Okay, so the first term that you typically hear about in AP Statistics is an individual. Now, an individual refers to the single units of a population that is observed in an experiment or observational study. So the individual, think of it as the simplest term in any experimental design or observational study. Now, an experiment is actually different than an observational study, and we'll get into that in a sec. But an individual, consider it once again, the single units. Now, a subject is just another term to describe an individual. It just means that the individual is a person. So if I'm studying dogs in an experiment, those would not be considered subjects. They would just be considered individuals. But if I'm studying 25 women, then those will be referred to as subjects. It's the same term, just to describe that they're humans. So now the next term we're going to go into is the explanatory and response variables. Now the explanatory variable here, it basically means it's the variable that you are manipulating to find a certain outcome. The explanatory variable attempts to explain the observed outcome of a study or an experiment. The explanatory variables are also known as the independent or X variables, and they basically manipulate it. So if I wanted to find the effects of fertilizer on plant growth, my independent variable would be the fertilizer, because that is what I'm changing in order to observe the outcome. Now the response variable, on the other hand, is also known as the dependent or Y variable, and it would measure the growth of a plant in centimeters, millimeters, feet, whatever. Okay, so now the next term we have is an observational study. Now this term came up back when we were talking about individuals, and these two are actually very different. So let's start off with an example. If I was going to a hospital to observe the effect of different cancer treatments on survival rate in 25 women, I would be observing them. If I'm not the one that's assigning them to the treatment, if I'm not the one that's saying, you people have to get chemotherapy, you people have to have a mastectomy, then it is an observational study. Okay, so an observational study, the best way to define it is that the researcher does not deliberately impose treatment. Okay, I am not the one assigning the type of cancer treatment to the woman. The experiment, on the other hand, basically, they do deliberately impose some of the treatment. So if I do tell them, like, you 25 need to go get a chemotherapy and you get this, and the same thing works for the plant.